out. This one's going to be discussing what's going to be included and expected in a virtual classroom for individual sports. So you are going to create a virtual classroom as if you're the teacher, and you are going to utilize this platform for students to get information from you, for you to get assignments, for them to maybe turn in assignments. And basically, you're creating an individual sports homepage. And then from there, you should be able to go to each of the individual 3 sports that are in this class. So basically, that's kind of the whole overview. So there is this direction sheet that's on Canvas, of course, as are the due dates. I'm going to keep it pretty vague so that I can hopefully use this video from semester to semester, and you can just check online. So I emailed you the deadlines for all of this information. So basically, you're developing a classroom, kind of developing your knowledge and abilities and all the things that you value for these sports. The good news is that the creation and organization and kind of presentation of all of this is really what this assignment is all about. And it's worth 20%. The contents of the notebook is really either provided for you or you find on the internet based on what you really think that you're going to value in aquatics. What are you going to value and include in track and field? What do you think you're going to be doing in golf? And what are the ideas that you have that you may create your golf unit from? So I'll show you some examples. We're going to go through and talk about the requirements for your page, and then I'll show you many, many ways to get ideas, tutorials on how to learn how to do things. I haven't had amazing success. The directions have been adequate enough to help people do amazing examples in the past. So I will show you past examples from classrooms and then where to get the knowledge on how to do everything. So you'll notice here that the pages, it looks like I have a 9-year-old skating through. That's not very distracting. So you'll notice that on the direction sheet that there are things in turquoise, and the turquoise are kind of highlights the requirements. So we'll kind of start there. But basically, your virtual classroom must include a welcome page. And remember, this isn't welcome to KINS 146. And so you definitely don't want to have anything related to your Sacramento State class on your Mr. Teacher, Mrs. Teacher, the teacher's page. You want this to be about when you're a PE teacher, and this is welcome your students to your page. So you're going to have a welcome to the individual sports, and there could be anything on that page that you kind of value, but it certainly should be kind of that landing point. When you go to a home page and you kind of want to, it kind of gives you a highlight of where everything is, and kind of a real slice of what's available on that page. So it could have a welcome board. It could have, these are the things here, a home where you click the button to go home, directional arrow, navigational arrows, those types of things. But really the sky's the limit on basically what you want to do. And there are some examples here, and we'll click over here to kind of find some examples that have been done virtually, of course, because the world had to do some virtual quick maneuvering when we, I don't want this one, not yet. Please hold. So I have some examples. Oh gosh, already have fun. So let's see, this is kind of cool. It's someone's classroom, and then out the window. So here's the welcome to individual sports, and it talks about different types of things. There's a golf window, there's a swimming window, and there's a track and field window kind of out their door. So that was kind of a fun one. Let's see if I can click. This one's my favorite one. I think you can see it. There's just some different ones. This is a classroom. So here's the golf tab, here's the track and field tab, here's the aquatics. This one's a little tiny jumbled. I don't know where each of the sports are, so we're definitely going to be talking about that. Here's another welcome to individual sports, and here's the 3 content areas. You can kind of see over here on the left that there's some pictures that go with it, and this is actually a pretty good one. And then this one's probably organizationally one of the best ones. So where do you want to head first? Do you want to go to the golf course? Do you want to go to the track? Do you want to go to the pool? And here's kind of the intro, and then you can kind of see over here, which again we'll kind of look at here in just a sec. Oopsie. So back to this area of the directions, you are going to have a welcome page. So you get to pick your welcome page. You get to pick what you want. What do you like the window idea? Do you want your own idea? Do you want, something physical education related, given that you're going to be a PE teacher, of course. So you pick the welcome page, and through all the examples that I'm going to show you, to all the places that I'm going to send you, and all the resources that you're going to have, you'll have, the sky will literally be the limit. So you need to have a separate and complete page created for each sport or each of the content areas. So one for track and field, you can have more if you'd like. Some people like to divide them into the throwing events and the running events and the jumping events, and you can have kind of toggle back and forth between those pages, completely up to you. You'll obviously have a golf one, and then you'll have a swimming or aquatics one as well. And you can call it aquatics, you can call it swimming. Usually those are the two that we use most frequently in here. If there's something that best fits water games, water sports, you kind of figure out, exactly what you value, what you think you're going to value, and then kind of run with it. So a complete separate standalone page, but they all need to be linked to the welcome page. So they can't just be slide and then, just click to the next slide and it goes to golf, and click to the next slide. On your home page, there has to be a link to where you can go to the golf page. So when you're in your golf unit, you don't have to go through all of the rest of the stuff that you're not in. And then when you're on the golf page, you should be able to go back to have a home button and go back to the home button. We'll discuss that down here in just a sec. So let's see. You have to have a page created for each sport. One of the things that you also have to do is that you need to have 10 different sport or content specific little Bitmojis is usually what we have. And so there are some at the very end of these direction sheets, there are some guidelines on how to create those. The sky is the limit on poses. Sometimes you can get a pose where your hands are in the air and then you stick a golf club in there. There's so many ways that you can do that. And there's lots of different free, most of it's free, so don't spend any money. You can get like a little Nike tracksuit, you can get Adidas tracksuits. Those might actually cost 99 cents, and you don't have to do that, but they are examples. But they definitely should be sports specific. And so in the beginning, it can be you as a teacher, and in golf, it should be you doing golf related things. In track and field, it should be you doing track and field related things. So you can get kind of background images, which we'll talk about here in a sec. That's a golf, golf course. And then you're standing on the tee, or you're standing on the fairway, or on the putting green or something. So definitely make it so that it's you. That's either a Bitmoji of you. It can even be your actual picture if you want to. There can be videos of you, but in some way, shape, or form, you must appear at least 10 different ways that are content specific ways on your page somewhere, or in your classroom somewhere. So it can be probably spread out on all the pages, at least 10. Most people do way more, which you'll see some examples here. I think people have fun kind of making their little character. And then I think it's fun to kind of see your character doing all the different types of things. So I believe that's what's happening, because people really do a lot of those. Okay, there's other ways here. There's Bitmoji tutorials below. You can make yourself a teacher. There's ways to animate your Bitmoji. There's a way to plunk you in, kind of remove your background, and you can be talking, you can be moving, you can be doing whatever. So definitely kind of consider all of the fun ways, and even more so, I usually don't say just Google it, but man, Google and YouTube can really take it away as far as the imagination can carry you with all the different ideas. There's also a way to cartoonify yourself. Not very popular. I look creepy as a cartoonified version of myself, but there's some ways here that you can kind of make your caricature, or cartoonify you and make you kind of a different being. It looks crazy, but so here's what you're going to be doing. So you are going to all of the items that are going to be included on this, and you see all these items down here: glossary of terms, rules and regulations, origin and history. Those have actually already been created. So the beauty, and they're going to be all on Google. I'll send you a Google invite, and you can go onto Google. I think they're on Canvas as well, but Google is way better because it's easier to access, and you can just save everything to your world. And then from your virtual classroom, link your Google Classroom, your Google Drive, and then everything can be there. So when you leave Sac State, it's with you. So basically what you're going to have on your golf page, you're going to put all of these items. So there's some point system down here, or, oh no, I'm sorry, on the grading sheet, there'll be points. So you're going to have a glossary of terms for golf. So on Google Drive, you'll see probably 10 different lists of golf glossaries. Kind of click through and see which one you like, see which one's best for you, see which one, maybe it's the one that aesthetically is striking to you, that you go, yeah, I like that one. You might click on one and go, ooh, I don't like that one. Or, ooh, that's too much information. Or I think that's the perfect amount of information. So in some way, shape, or form, determine which glossary you like the best and then link it to your classroom. So somewhere it's going to say terms or glossary or, dictionary, whatever you want to do. You'll have a spot for that. You'll have rules and regulations for golf, sport origin or history for golf. So what you're responsible for is not only including all of this information for golf, but making it look good, making it easy to find. So you're required to have labels, making it something that students, want to click around, will enjoy finding information that is useful for your golf unit. And that's really important. You can't just go bleh and throw everything with a ton of different emojis or not emojis, images. And then so that things are really hard to find and that you're just like, oh my goodness, like this is a nightmare and a disaster. And then the next page is equally as jumbled. And so it's important that there's consistency, that you kind of think about, like if you have assessments in one spot, really consider having assessments for track and field in the same spot and assessments for swimming in the same spot. I actually think it makes it easier if you kind of create this shell and then alternate kind of the picture behind as well as your little Bitmojis, and then everything else is kind of just students know where to go. They know what to expect because it's the same. And I'll kind of show you exactly what that looks like. So there's assignments on the Google Drive that you'll just go in and go, okay, golf assignments. Let's see this assignment. Let's see this assignment. And the sky is really the limit on those. There's a ton of golf assignments, and you can even use your own if you'd like to make some up, or you can go onto the internet and find a ton of things that are out there and kind of just start building things, create a resource for you that helps your students as well. And so that's what's going to be your goal here, is be a teacher, which is kind of a cool assignment, and figure out what it is that you think you might do for these content areas. And then, of course, there's guidelines. So you've got assessments and assignments and at least handouts, and 3 handouts, letters to parents. My students in the past have done a plan or an assignment that includes technology. And so I definitely want you to have like that in there. It can be part of your assignments. You can gather these things any way that you want, or organize them. Equipment or place to participate. You will probably have to create those places to participate, which is kind of exciting. So say that you want to work in Monterey. You want to go back home and home is Monterey. Then you create a place, like say that you're teaching in Monterey. And if your students want to click on places that you recommend to play, maybe you have like a good place where it says, these are good 9 holes. This is a good place for you and your family to go. This is picturesque, but expensive, because of course you're in Monterey. So that certainly exists. So kind of be thinking about what you would really give your students if you were really to go home and teach and get your dream job. Okay, now this part is another one that you will search for and then find. So find good videos. I went through and searched tons and tons of video, particularly in golf, to find something that was short, that taught you what I wanted you and thought you needed to know, that was entertaining, that couple dude perfect things on there, that did things about definitions, that did things about etiquette, those types of things. Find what you think is valuable, and you're required to have at least 5 videos. And so, again, I'll show you some examples of how people do that. But if you just put the YouTube icon there, and then that links to a page that you've created that has all your videos, there's a way to find out how to do that. But some way, combine it so that you can go, oh, there's the YouTube link, and then on track and field, there's the YouTube link, and it takes you to the things that you want your students to be able to see. There's a way to create a YouTube page for golf for you. So Mrs. Kitchen's golf YouTube resources, and you put the little YouTube link on there, you click on it, and then all of those things on there are the things that I suggest for class. Super useful. I guess it's super easy to do because lots of people do it. Just give yourself kind of the patience to have a little bit of patience to go in and find out how to do that. And then you need 2 lesson plans for each of these content areas on there. Those are probably something in a teacher's corner for you. Later you may take kind of access away from students, because why would they want that? Sometimes there's actual video lesson plans that you can do. The sky's the limit for what that can be for you. But I do want you to have content on there so that either you can pull putting lessons, or your students can pull some putting lessons, or videos of a putting lesson. I really let you do kind of whatever you want. So the requirements for all 3 are pretty similar, with the exception of swimming. There's less of a couple things, and there's no lesson plan. Since I'm the one that teaches in that class, there are no lesson plans, kind of student lesson plans available. And yeah, that's it. Have I gone too fast? Nope. I mean, I may be going fast, but you can always go back. Okay. So super duper important. In fact, I think I'm going to stay away from Canvas, although things are already there. Documents cannot be linked or kept or housed or related in any way, shape, or form to Canvas. I learned that kind of the hard way, because my first semester, I put everything in Canvas, and then people did their virtual classrooms and projects in Canvas. And then if you clicked on things, it went to Canvas. Well, the minute that you're not a student, you lose access to all of that. So that virtually was an assignment that unless you did it in Google and saved it and housed all of the documents in Google, you wouldn't have access to that stuff. Anything that's accessed to linked to Canvas in any way, shape, or form, you'll get a 0 for, because that's literally represents the credit that you'll get, or the usefulness that you're going to get once you're out. You won't be able to see it, so you're not going to get any credit for it. So do everything in Google Drive. Don't link anything to Canvas. If you get something from Canvas, save it to your Google Drive. So if you find a really cool assessment that I didn't put, or that you couldn't find on Google Drive, save it, literally download it to your computer, save it to your Google Drive, and then create and house everything in Google, so that when you leave me, I'll never kind of take away permission to all of the stuff that you have. Make it yours, move along, make it, not read only, just make it yours and take it with you. Don't do anything to Canvas. I can't stress the importance of this. When I click on everything, and I'm going to click on everything, I need to be able to first see it, and we'll talk about access here being granted to me. And number 2, I need to see that it is in your Google Drive and not on Canvas. Super important. And I click on everything because I want to make sure that everything works. Okay, you must label everything and make sure things are easy to find. So I've given you an example of having the little YouTube, red and white sideways triangle. Obviously that's kind of the universal sign for YouTube. You don't need to put YouTube underneath it, but maybe put videos, maybe put golf videos. It kind of just depends, what it looks like. That one, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but you can't just put a piece of paper and expect students to know that that's rules, or that that's assignments, or that's assessments. You have to have labels under things. They are required. Labels are required. So let me see what we got here. So for example, this little guy standing here, this is chipping. This thing right here is tiny. Let's see if I can click it up here. Rule book. So here he has this book, and it says a blue book. Maybe it's a rules. I don't know. Oh, this must be going to swimming. So, but I don't know. So I have to guess. So I shouldn't have to guess what this is. This probably goes to swimming. I don't want to click on it to get out of it. But basically, if you look up top here, clearly this goes to his homepage. This goes to golf, which we're in, it's highlighted in red. This goes to his track and field page, and this goes to aquatics. These all have labels over here, and I love it. I think it's super easy to follow. You click on equipment, and it'll take you to equipment and places. Here's rules and regulations, glossary of terms. Assessments are here. So if you click on this, let's see, it'll go to his Google Classroom that has assessments. Can I go back easily? Okay. These are assignments. What am I doing here? I don't know. Let's check it out. It's a golf video. So that's one of the ways to find the golf videos, but students shouldn't have to guess where things are. Can you find all 5 videos? Okay. So apparently he wants us to find all 5 videos, but that's kind of his choice that he's done. So he put, I think that this is a little Bitmoji that he made of himself. And then he added a club. The background picture is golf related. Let's see what we got here. Track and field. So track and field, there's him running. There's him jumping over again, it looks like he's taken this to be consistent, like this little bookshelf. You're going to find the assignments. You're going to find assessments. I'm not going to click on that mask right now, but let's see what Blue Book is. Blue Book is handouts, but he certainly should say handouts on Blue Book. So he can write handouts on the label underneath it or on top of it. And what I really like about this one is it's kind of takes this notion of all of these things that you're required to do and that you want your students to have. And it simply places them not in a non-jumbled, really organized fashion on a page. I feel like, you know, once you get the track and field background and swimming and the golf background, that really just kind of figuring out how to make this so it's really pleasing to the eyes and not like, and I'll show you some here in a second. That's kind of a really helpful way for students to then always know where things are. So he's super consistent in this. Let me show you other examples. Hold on. So this one is, if you look at it, it does have the background. We haven't really talked about it, but it's like, right? It's so many different things that it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what's happening here. So come up with a way to where it kind of has less. Clearly, this is track and field because of the background. There's technology assignment. They're labeling things. This is a letter to parents. Amazing ideas as far as handouts and equipment, instructional videos, but it's so much that it's just hard. Like assessments doesn't probably need 4 things. Assignments doesn't need 4 things. I think that's what's under me. Yeah. Adorable little Bitmojis as far as like she's got 2 or 3 on this page. Let's see, let's go back. Swimming, here's another swimming one. So generally speaking, this one's super duper jumbly. This is also another one that's got a million Bitmojis and I don't know where anything is on this page. So it's probably, you know, a really good example of what not to do as far as like, where are things? So if you look at this, where in the heck do I find things? What is putter mead, bunker, hole in one? So basically, I think on this one, you have to click on each of the really cool Bitmojis. In fact, I think this is a Nike tracksuit. Yep. So it's awesome. But there's no way that students are going to know where to go on this one. And that's really important that they do. Here's another individual sports homepage. I think I showed you earlier with the golf, track and field. Let's see. I showed this one because I think it's kind of another way to organize things. Fun little Bitmoji dudes. Let's see. Putting instruction, chipping instruction. But what I like about it, and it's hard, I got all these extra things, is that all of these things are kind of up here in the sky and it's kind of easy to find. There's assignments, there's handouts, assessments, equipments, the labels are there. Down here, he's got this back to classroom thing. So you can go back to the original thing and let's see what track and field has. Up here, assignments, handouts, assessments, history, terminology, letter to parents. And then he's got his video down here, his fun Bitmojis, super easy. Back to the classroom. Let's see what the 4th one is, swimming and aquatics. So again, kind of the same exact concept. And again, you'll find your little Bitmojis where you can make them swimming or you can make them jumping in. And I'm pointing with my hand. That makes no sense. Sorry. Oh, wow. I just clicked on something that says take a quiz. So in here, he actually created a quiz. That's fun. Oh, I don't need escape. What's happening? Why can't I escape? There it is. Okay, let's see. I think there's one more this way. And all my neighbors come into my house. Hold on just a sec, everybody. So let's click back to this, guys. So I kind of love this as an example because it is kind of everything is just here and you can kind of toggle through everything. There's a home page that goes back to, I can't click on it right now. Oh, ooh, that's fun. Stuff came in. Did you see that? So to the golf course, and then you're here. And then there's the homepage, and then and then to the pool, and then you're here. So basically, the sky's kind of the limit. And these are some really good examples of exactly what I want you to do. So let's take a look at other things. So you are not permitted, and this is kind of a question that people ask once you get into it and you're trying to figure out things. You're not permitted to say golf page here and then click on assignments, assessments, and handouts, click on it, and then go to a page where everything's just listed. Okay, that's not professional. It's not helpful. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It isn't useful for students. Like, they should see things. They should go, this is so cool. I want to stay here and I want to click on everything. So clicking on a Google Drive that has like all of the things just listed on a page, not super exciting. So do better, make it better. It must be like an icon that you can click and then you go to the different things, not go to a list where everything's listed there. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. I don't have an example of it because I think I've deleted all the ones that aren't fabulous, and that's amongst the ones that aren't fabulous. So create the page, make the links within the page, make the icons work. They can be combined if it's done professionally, but I don't want to go to a Google page where there's just a list of an item I can click on. Boring, super boring. Okay, let's see. The 3 pages or tabs for each of the sports, so your 3 kind of home pages, they should contain similar format. Okay, so you know kind of where to go for things. It's not required. If you can find 3 different ways for it to be amazing, that's great. It is easier for students to navigate if things are where expected. If not, you just have to do an amazing job of labeling things. But the one thing that is expected is that you do need to have a sport-specific, content-specific background. So for golf, you need to find, there's millions of images and background drop pictures that you can pull from. You need to have a golf related background. Swimming, same thing, aquatics, and the same thing for track and field. And the sky's the limit. There's so many options. You can click on the ones that I have given you. You can click on the ones that are on Google Drive. You can Google it, all sorts of ways. There's nothing short of amazing options for you if you just kind of look at them. But they do need to, keep school students in mind. So keep probably freshman students in mind. What are they going to find interesting? What poses can you be in that they'll find interesting? What's going to keep them on the page clicking around? It must be aesthetically pleasing, meaning it must look great. It shouldn't be too crammed or too busy. Pages that are too crammed are too difficult to navigate. So I've shown you some examples. You certainly can go back and look at them. But if you look at something and go, I can find everything instantly, you're good. If you look at something and go, whoa, yeah, then don't do that page. Navigational arrows are required. So a home box where you can go to your home individual sports page. You can have a little picture of a house with home underneath it. You can have a button that says home. You can have a button that says individual sports and it goes back to individual, but you must have arrows to go home, to go forward, to go back, or to go to other pages. And there's an or in there because you could just have it where you go back arrow and you stay within your golf unit. If you have lots of pages where there's a bunch of golf pages, and then you're going to want a back arrow and a forward arrow and a home arrow. You can have a golf home arrow and you can have an individual sports home arrow. And most of you, especially if you've never created a virtual classroom for me, are going, I have no idea what you are talking about or how to do it. And don't worry, because I have tutorials down below that are super easy, because once I have, I went through and watched hours and hours of video and found some really good videos. And I know that they're amazing because not only have I given them to people before you and people have created amazing pages, but once people watch those videos, I never have any questions. So they must be good. So they are required. You've got to have arrows on there. And how and what arrows you use will really depend on the pages that you create and how people who are going to be on your page need to navigate. And so if you have here's one of the problems that people will have. If you have 5 golf pages, like you decided to put your assessments and assignments on one page, and then you have a next button, and then you have a handouts and history, and then you have a next page. If I get to the 5th page, I shouldn't have to go back to get to assessments or to get to a golf homepage. Those buttons should be down there. So let me know if you have any questions. Let's see. It is an excellent tool for you to utilize in your classroom. I think everyone's going to have Google Classrooms. I know a lot of people, especially post-COVID, it's how they're utilizing everything. People turn things in, take quizzes online. I mean, it's just the way that's going to be there. So let's see. Your No, obviously we were all pulling from Google Drive. You're all taking whatever you think, and there's some things on there that you're going to look at. There are some assessments that I know everyone should and are going to have because they're amazing. But which means that there's a lot of duplications as far as what I'm expecting that appear on these pages. But it is super easy to tell when you have copied. I mean, I've even had people go so far as to like do the exact same pages, but change like the placement of things and the picture in the back. I mean, that's ridiculous. Please don't do that. If you do that, it's worth 200 points. Let's say that you get 200 out of 200, you and the person that turned in 2 different pages, but you shared your work. I will literally divide the grade. You're lucky that you're not getting a 0, but you will get 100 out of 200. So if you're going to turn in 2 assignments for 1 credit, you're getting half of the credit. So don't do it. They must be completely different. They shouldn't look similar. There should be no copying. It just completely separate from each other. If you work together with a bestie or whatever, just do your own work, do your own creations, of course, help each other. If you found a really cool way to do something or to link something or to create a Bitmoji that moves, definitely help each other, but do your own work. Number 1, so you can learn it. Number 2, so that you know how to do it in the future so that you can utilize this. And number 3, you can create your own great project. So it's really something that I'm hoping, since I'm putting you in the role of teacher. And I remember when I got to be teacher, I probably went way overboard on all the cool things that I wanted to do because, this is what you want to do for a living. It's close. And so if you can start to kind of put your teacher hat on now and create something for your students, you can really run with this and be amazing. So this link right here is actually the link, this guy. So you have a link to this page. So you can, let me click, but anyways, you have a link to this page and you can go and actually see his. I wanted to kind of show you an actual classroom. Where is that? I'm not sure what you can see, so let me click on this. Here's a page that's actually utilized by a colleague of mine, and it's his homepage, totally jumbled and crazy, but he has used it for his entire PE program for the entire year. And I like it because there's just some examples of things that are amazing. There's a little clip down here, and he says, welcome to the page. You're welcome to do that. Super easy. There's a board here that says, welcome to his virtual gym. Can you find or click on the activities? It's okay if you do that. And I know that he's done that. So students know, like, where's the exertion thing? I think that might be maybe what this is. There's animated things here. And when you click on these things, you go places. You can subscribe to his channel. He's got 33 subscribers. And there's another little audio link here. I also wanted to show you this one. This is the caricature, at least the background. This is actually her playground, and she took the picture of the playground and then make it a character in that link that I've provided. There's an identify the bones and move here. There's a mindful station, like where you can kind of go for, yoga or health enhancing links or handouts for, anything, relaxation or anything. So really, you could build the option of adding that in later and have like the restful corner or the mindful corner or the yoga corner or whatever you want to call it, and just leave it there and not hook anything to it since it's not our class right now. And then later you can add things in. So these things probably, let's see, this basketball one went to a basketball video. It looks like, of course, there's a YouTube or a Verbo thing or an ad. Oh, this is choose this or that. It's kind of a cool video, this or that workout, which, what's better for you. And so there's just lots of things. The sky is the limit. The one thing that I wanted to show you is if you go into, let's see, I think I have in the directions, but let me see so I don't jump around. Okay, yeah. So these 2 examples are here. This was the jumbled example, but it's really good. This is the good example from class. This is the one that we were just looking with the caricatured recess area. But where there are amazing examples is if you go onto Twitter and you do virtual classroom and then space PE, the space is super important. If you don't do the space, then you won't get what you're supposed to get. The link is here, but basically you're going to go to Twitter, obviously. And then you can look at all of the virtual classrooms that people have done, and people are amazingly helpful. If you click on the link or you ask them a question, they say that you wanted to get this little dude right here. If you say, hey, can you give me the muscle man? They will send you that. Hey, how did you get your screens to go from one to another just in the video link? They'll probably send you that, or you could of course YouTube it. But this is a really good example of a 33-second kind of snippets of all of her classrooms and all of the different things. She's got a board that kind of directs people on her webpage where to go. Click on the various things around the room to get access to information on each topic. You can have a bulletin board on your individual homepage. You can have kind of a bulletin board format, like on the golf in the corner, like down here in the corner. You have a bulletin board with all of the items that you've lined up. And then when you go to track and field, there's still a bulletin board. When you go to swimming, there's still a bulletin board. That's a good centralized place to kind of find information. So you can kind of click through and see different ideas. This is obviously classroom ideas. Here's somebody's, four different gymnasiums. Here's a gym. Like, you could get this little flag thing from people if you wanted to. You could probably Google it or get the speaker from them, get this board. There's a TV with a YouTube link on here. So many cool ideas. So scroll through. Find out some things. A lot of this were virtual during COVID. This bookshelf, you can click on things. Definitely you're going to need labels. So this is a good and / not great example. And then, this must be hockey, and there's just a bunch of different things. And in here, you can also find out directions on how to do everything, because that's pretty much where I went. I was like, okay, Google, what is this? I want to Google that and I want to find it. So kind of scroll through. I know a lot of people use these rainbow flags, which is amazing. So get those. You can either get, I think he must be the person that either tells you where they are, or he'll just send them to you, because most people are pretty amazing. Get an I love PE sign and hashtag things, and get your little foam finger. Have fun with it. Make it amazing and make it yours. So here are the tutorials that I have kind of gone through like the crazy amount of things out there to bring it right down to these. And if you watch all these, you can do everything I've practically everything I've showed you. They're not long. They're usually vetted for being short and succinct and precise and useful. There's things on how to publish your virtual classroom, and that's super duper important. The last thing, and I skipped over it, I don't know where it is, but one of the most important things, and it is related to points, is that you have to grant me access to everything. If I click on it and it says access denied, you lose points. So you can't, and sometimes you can't just make me the editor or, co-editor or whatever of your page without going in. And some people may know how to do it, and please help each other. And maybe we can talk about it in class. But I'll go through and I'll be clicking on things and everything's perfect. And then I'll come to like 4 or 5 documents and I can't have access to them. So either you have to individually go in and grant me access. Don't share it with me, because I don't need 187 share emails every time you do, but grant me access, and there's a button for that. And then that way I can access everything. And that's super, super important. So let's see here. Lastly, and it's worth mentioning, is the grading sheet. So basically the grading sheet, oh, am I on the notebook? Yes, I am. So here is the virtual classroom grading sheet. Again, it's worth 200 points, 20% of your grade. There's a guideline here for kind of everything that's, going to be referred to as far as directionally expectations. Again, the yellow thing is it can't be linked to Canvas. Everything that is a 0. And if everything's linked to Canvas, you'll have to redo it for credit and it'll be reduced. So the highlight of all of it, everything's kind of pointed out here so you can see there's 60 points for organization and professionalism. There's content related 50 points, 66 and 24. It goes with the items. And then overall the 200 points here. So, yeah, it's amazing. I'm excited. I hope you get excited about these things. I hope you make it amazing. Let me know if you have any questions, chat with each other, share good ideas. Yeah, make it amazing. Have fun, be a teacher in these 3 content areas, and kind of figure out exactly, how your students are going to enjoy and understand and be involved in the content that you've selected for them. So talk to you soon. Let me know if you have questions.